determination, passion, stamina, and the will to win. The end result, the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Motorsports brings you the Ricmotech Sports Car Series, brought to you by Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment, and by Proform, Elite Texas Graphics, live Mondays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Apex Racing TV and welcome to the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. And, well, we're back for another season. We're at Daytona once again. This is sure going to be an exciting one. Ricmotech joining us once again as our series title sponsor. But, of course, this time we are joined by Proforma. And, yeah, so the series is brought to you in association with Proforma. Thank you very much for joining and supporting the series. Season 14, well I never as well. So, yep, new season, new sponsors. Go check those guys out. Yeah, for all your graphics needs. And yeah, we've got a couple of little videos and things like that to show you later on. So I'll let you know a little bit more about those guys. But yeah, we appreciate it. Tyler Vickery will be joining me a short second. He's just getting himself all sorted up. We're hoping to bring you a couple of extra little features today, but unfortunately they're crumbled around us at the very, very last minute as well. So hopefully we'll get that up and rolling for race number 2 of the season. But yep, just while we're finishing up qualifying, let's get Kevin to take us around a guided tour of this Daytona circuit.
Welcome, viewers, to Daytona International Speedway. Here to do the track guide lap for you in the Mustang FR500 at this 3.56-mile road course here at Daytona. As we approach the flag stand, drivers will be coming down into turn 1 here off of the NASCAR portion of the course at approximately 150 miles an hour, down through the gears, hard on the brakes, getting down into second gear, catching that apex in the bottom of the corner, getting a good launch up into turn 2 here. Drivers will next be approaching turn 3, International Horseshoe. This is another very slow, tight apex. Got to get that car to rotate, late apex on entry, get a nice wide exit up through the gears, get that speed to head down to turn 4. Short shoot here is pretty fast through turn 4. Drivers will probably keep that pedal to the floor coming around here, and also looking for some overtaking opportunity down into West Horseshoe. Another late apex corner down into second gear. Let that car rotate. Make sure you get it down to the bottom on exit so you can get a nice fast launch up into one of the most critical turns on the track in my mind, turn 6. Down into second gear, you can see that it's an off-camber at apex and exit. Got to be very careful with that throttle, but you do want to get that speed up for the high bankings. One of the unique things about Daytona that makes it so different from other road courses around the world is the high-speed banks and long straightaways. Massive slipstream, a lot of drafting here, gives drivers an opportunity to get back to the guy in front of them via that draft. So we will see a lot of competitive racing here at Daytona. Coming down to what's known as the bus stop, very intricate entry, blind entry down into third gear, looking for that left-hander, the right-hander, trying to get through here nice and straight and smooth, back up onto the banking. That's a critical turn that can dictate how your race ends. A lot of passes take place at the end of a race coming through NASCAR 3 and 4 banking here. Drivers will sometimes sit behind the guy in front of them looking for that draft opportunity to slipstream him at the finish line and take away the win. It happens here quite often at Daytona. Well, there's your track guide through this 3.56 mile road course at Daytona International Speedway. Thank you for watching.
Very much, Kevin, for that. It's going to be a great race today. Always is. Great track to do the opener, and of course, as Tyler was mentioning, this sort of coincides with the Raw before, as well as the Daytona 24. So the guys should be pretty practiced for this one. So expect to see some good close racing. Take this opportunity to bring Tyler in. Thank you very much for rushing back from work and making it here as well. Daytona, how'd you like this place?
Oh yeah, and work's always fun. But yeah, no, Daytona's one of my favorites, especially been there in real life for actually. There's a iRacing driver that I know that I ran a lot with. That he actually ran the ARCA race last year. So I've been out to Daytona in real life, and just seeing it in real life was, let's just say felt like I was in heaven. But just with how Daytona is, and especially around here in the U.S. with even the 24-hour Daytona, it's still a very awesome track, and the road course is the same. They make it where it's real challenging, and then you have the long oval part sections that they have that really can challenge the cars and really put them to the limit. And I can't wait to see how these MX-5s and these Ford Mustangs will take to the track, man, especially during race time, because got 39 cars and looks like it's gonna be one fun race.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to see just a little bit special today. I don't know why, I just get that feeling. Of course, we've got a few driver sort of changes in terms of the class that they're in as well. So Rob Hartley out there in a Mustang right now. Mike Dam has returned to the car, I believe, as well. And Pasquale Iannucci in there as well. Aeronom takes his place at the very top of the standings. We'll bring you the qualifying standings in just a short sec. But I think a few new drivers going to make it quite interesting there actually in that GS class. So you know what is going on out there as well today. So we do have technically 4 classes out there. So GS Pro, GS Open, GS ST Pro, and ST Open. So 3.8K for your GS Pro, GS Open 2.1, 4.4 for 1. So that's what your strength of field look like out there as well. That's series. You don't know what that's all about. So drivers have like a ranking rating basically, and they all get added together, divided up, and whatnot like that, and then you have like a strength of field. So I think the record for the highest strength of field is something like 7.6, 7.8K, which was fairly recently. So
Wow.
yeah, that's insanely high. But actually, the categories there, they're pretty high as well. So just so you obviously understand it, GS Open is kind of like almost like an AM class, I guess. So you've got a Pro and AM. Why you expect to see the the Opens just a little bit lower in their strength. Right, final few people are just finishing up right now. We can have a look at some of the standings very, very shortly. A little bit more information as well, so we can see safety rating on the guys out there as well. This is another system that iRacing tracks on the service as well, is actually how clean you are as a driver as well. So you get an idea of who's got what license people are at, and what iRating they're on there as well. So on 6.8K, of course, Hartley, the highest driver of their class. A 9.7K, so absolutely whopping. Try and give you a few bits of extra information throughout the meeting. But before we do that, let's take a quick look at the grid. Who has got pole position on the opening week here? I'm waiting for the grid to come up. Here we go. There it is. So on pole position, then Aeronom resumes what was just dominance from last season with a 2 minutes point one. Stephen Thomas was very, very quick here last year as well, or last season as well. So actually was last year now as well. In second place, just 10th of a second behind Leon Wright. Great qualifying from him, just over a 10th and a half back as well. Clint Vigus, always strong. In fourth place, Rob Hartley in fifth. Very strange to see him out of that MX-5, absolute pro in that car. Tyler Schiffler in sixth, Pat Iannucci in seventh. Kevin Ford is in eighth, and we've got Brandon Whitworth, Jeff Jacobs, Mike Dam, Paul Gibson not registering a class. So we'll have to take a quick look at that and see what that's all about in a mo. And then we've got Russ Ruddock, followed by Trent Brown, and it's Matthew Wheeler, Michael Monaghan, Cameron Bidwell, Raymond Bader, and Daniel, Robert Brist. We head into your ST class, and it's John Allen that got the pole position there. Barry Svinky just tucked up behind him, but good 0.3 of a second, or 0.3 of a second clear, so great qualifier for Allen. Obviously nailed somebody's draft well there. Jordan Walk in third place, then it's Jim Liss, followed by David Payton, Jacob Beardsley, and we've got Geordie Fike, Eric Violet, Bobby Charles, Derek Holland, Edgar Santinelli, Lewis Looper, Lindell McMurphy, Mike Taylor, Chris Thorman 35th, Mikey Key is 36th, and we are still going. I've got Elvis on the grid, ranking, and Patrick Prevenis, and then Ryan Cobb. This is going to be quite an interesting group. I think it's Ryan actually who is doing the officiating today, so expect to see him out there. Just a short run to the start of this one there. Come out of the chicane, not the full pace lap like we used to have.
Yep, as they only get the half of the track, so definitely a big difference there. So if they had the full track, if they had the full racetrack, they probably could easily have an opportunity to save fuel, but not this time around.
Right then, round number 1, season 14. About to get going here at Daytona. Welcome everybody to another round, another championship. The Mustangs roar into life then as we head down towards turn 1 for the first time. And Nom, absolutely phenomenal start, already starts to stretch his legs. Leon Wright, second place. He's got Stephen Thomas just to the inside, Wright trying to get himself up a spot. I think he will do, get a slightly better run off the exit with the first horseshoe. And yeah, clears into second place. Great start from him. Let's just take a quick look, see what is going on with the MX-5s. And a great start from John Allen. Svenke almost caught napping a little bit, come under a bit of pressure from Jim List, who is up 1 spot. Jordan Walk dropped a place. But everything else is pretty clean, pretty tidy, which is what we've come to expect here, isn't it, Tyler? It's a great series for drivers being very, very patient.
Yeah, definitely, especially with how calm it was too. There wasn't any. There was a few checkups in the GS class where one of the Mustangs had already had some front nose damage, but the way the start was, it was really nice and smooth. Everyone was giving each other room, making it through the first few turns, and now everyone's gonna have to start kicking it into gear again and start really fighting for positions.
Yeah, long race, obviously. An hour and a half, so plenty of time to go. Those that, again, are not familiar with the series, they run a few races throughout the season that are an hour and a half, but predominantly they're 1 hour sort of sprint races. So, but this one's classed as endurance. We'll see 2 pit stops today, and strategy does play a very, very big part, especially when everybody is slipstreaming each other on this sort of oval section. It's going to be very difficult for drivers to break away, but so strategy really, really makes a big, big deal. Katila in pit lane, so problems for Matthew.
I wonder if he got a penalty.
Yeah, could have been a jump start or something like that.
Yeah, 15. Looking at the pit time, it was 15-second pit time.
Looks like it. Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be straight on. So yeah, perhaps a jump start then for Patila. Not how he would have wanted to start his season, that's for sure.
Absolutely there.
Oh, he's got a bit of damage on the front actually as well. So maybe it's something else. Maybe he's had to just sort of pit repairs.
Ooh, right in front of the ST class. This is going to get interesting. This might actually give John D. Allen an opportunity to get some draft. Well, maybe some draft out of it.
Yeah, I think they're might run away pretty quickly. Give me obviously new season, and we've had some new liveries, but there's a couple of white cars out there as well. So I like to normally do this on the broadcast, but I am going to reload the textures just in case we haven't missed someone's livery. Thank you everybody for tuning in as well on YouTube. Don't forget to obviously give a thumbs up to the video if you do find yourself enjoying this a little bit later on. And of course subscribe to the channel, hit the bell if you want those notifications so that you know when we go live. We obviously have a lot going on right now here at Apex Racing TV. Multiple series throughout the week. We're pretty much live every day of the week, sometimes even sort of 2 broadcasts at once. But I think it's just Friday we have off at the moment. But yeah. Do get involved and support and follow the channel. Leon Wright looking good, I have to say. Just going to jump on board with him. Nom's not able to really break away at all in these early goings. And what I think, the key thing here, if You're right. You're actually probably in the best place right now. You can save fuel, top up in the draft. Nom is very, very good with his fuel numbers. He's very quick in the pit. So if Wright can save himself a few liters, or maybe even like dare I say, like a gallon of fuel, then I think that's probably a bit extreme. But he could, he could potentially jump or at least stay with Nom here. Let's see if he gets out of the gas, just coasts. Seems to me, oh yeah,
Yep.
big time, absolutely big time. So.
Yeah, especially with Leon in that scenario, it's usually best, especially you already know the Arrow's one of the quickest drivers in the GS field. So just being able to hang with him, and as long as you can hang with him and not panic too much over Stephen Thompson and Robert Hartley catching up, because most of this race is going to be all about drafting. If you can just stay in that top pack and can stay within the draft, you'll be fine. But it's definitely going to come into play in the long run if you start making mistakes and really start losing time.
Get everybody concertina up as they go into turn one. Multiple different lines as well. We're up in the blimp, looking down, and of course it's a little bit changed this time as well, because obviously we have the dynamic weather, dynamic track, everything else out there now as well. So session time will tick by, will make quite a difference to lap times. So have to keep an eye. You have a big role on whose setup is necessarily the best as well. You can start off the car absolutely dialed in, it can fall away quite quickly, or vice versa. The weather can really help you on the late going, so getting that spot on is very, very important. All kinds of action going on as well. We're looking at Alan actually just grazed the wall there going into turn one. It's got Liss just in front of him. Then Jordan doing a great job out there in first place at the moment. Travis Venke down 2, Alan down 2.
Yeah, for the MX5s for this race, especially with how bunched up they are, I'd say if they can just be patient and just stay in just like how the GS class is, things can get really interesting, and especially in the real life races, these cars will be in a long train for a good while. So I wouldn't expect to see a lot of things happen until we get close to the first pit stops for these Mazdas before we really start seeing who's gonna fare well out of this pack. And it looks like it might be starting to split up a little bit here. I've noticed like a few cars further back are starting to straggle a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if I just pick on Sancinelli here, sorry, we're with Louis here. He's just ahead of Sancinelli, and 3 seconds gap now to Eric Violet. So
it's climbing as well. So,
yeah,
and that's
draft,
what really hurts.
when you haven't got the draft, is it? It's just an absolute killer. So yeah, these guys obviously battling it out for 10th in class, but yeah, they're struggling to keep up. I mean, that's half a second they lost just on that straight. That just goes to show how much of a killer it is when you haven't got the draft.
Yep, absolutely.
Any questions anyone might have today on the chat, please do come and ask us some questions. Of course, it doesn't have to necessarily be YouTube as well. We are doing our Facebook stream, and if you're watching this back after the event as well and you want to ask us any questions, then we'll pick up the chat and come back to you post race as well. Try and be as interactive as we possibly can here on Apex Racing TV, even if it's some questions after the fact. Sure, we can chip in on that. And of course,
whoa! Oh boy,
what was that? Where was that?
That was a turn one of the MX5s. Lionel
Murphy, I think.
This might not end well. just from looking at this replay. Yep.
Oh, just over the front. And yeah, hit the rear quarter.
Oh, there's actually
around
another car.
Oh, I think they've got away with that. Might
I want
get
to say that
unsafe
was
pit and
Patrick. I want to say that was the 29 of Patrick Previnus. Because
yeah, I think you're right. I think it was Patrick that.
Or maybe not. It might have been another car. I want to say there was like a blue stripe.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see who it was as well, but all of a sudden can't.
Because they literally spun and took the pit road to escape it. So definitely already some early action with 10 minutes into the race.
We are, of course, on. We do have our live timing page available to date. Slightly different room than normal, and unfortunately, we couldn't quite get in on our normal room for some strange reason. So you are looking at. I'm just going to share the link. I think that'll be easier for you guys, and I'm sharing that in the YouTube and on the Facebook chat as well. Well, while I'm at it, I might as well do the Twitch for you guys.
Meanwhile, watching the GS field, I mean, this is really impressive. I mean, Aeronam cannot do much on trying to pull away. I want to say the first 10 cars in the GS field is all still trained up right behind Aeronam. About 6-second gap is the first, or actually no, I'm sorry. I want to say the 9, actually Mike Dam might be the last one, either him or Brandon Whitworth, because that's a nice little freight train of cars that these guys are keeping up with. Yes, it's the 93 of Mike Dam. Brandon Whitworth slowly starting to fade back now as he's all by himself, but still hanging on. Just seeing how this freight train is able to keep going and Aeronam not able to do much, as we got Patanucci looking on the outside of Kevin Ford heading into turn 1 now. Just playing the patient game now, as still have over an hour and 20 minutes to go, as the 29 of Patrick Previnus is now getting lapped. Almost some contact there by one of the GS cars and the 29 for a second, but still very clean though.
Has been a really good meet. It was just the merest of touches earlier on, and that's what's caused, fortunately, that accident. I dare say that will go down as a racing incident, just one of those unfortunate things. But not going to help. It's not going to help Lyndon McMurphy out any. That's for sure. He'll be a bit frustrated with that.
Absolutely.
Just the way it falls, isn't it? Sometimes you just have to. That's racing, really. Take it on the chin and move on.
Yep. And definitely gonna have to keep an eye on these the top 9 cars that are still in line here, because by the time their first stop comes around, this could really be interesting.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think this is where we might see the packs get broken up ever so slightly once they come around and start to do the lap. Let's take a quick look actually and see exactly how far that is away. See, obviously the Mustangs coming through the Roval section now while we're still following them from in the chopper, but you can see them on the mini-map. They're not going to be too far away. Perhaps maybe end of this lap they might start coming through on the oval section. That's going to be yeah, it's going to make things quite interesting.
Yeah, absolutely, and that'll probably end up really shaking up the fields in both classes, as the draft train will probably end up ending, and the groups will more than likely be split up. That was a nice pass there by Russ Rudick there, trying to, as he actually has some damage on the rear.
Yeah, he took a fair hit there, hasn't he, as well? Got himself a little out of shape on the exit of 1. Gets good braking. and down, back up the inside of Gibson. Jeff Jacobs just watching on. Needs to be dropping back at the minute. Jacobs down 3 spots right now while these guys continue their battle.
It's like already
an idea of the intervals out there as well. Of course, the intervals are color coded for anyone that doesn't know. So obviously, the closer they get, the closer or the darker shade of orange they get. I'm not 100% sure actually if they go into the red on the timing tower, but I'll have to see if there's any side-by-side battles going on. But here we go then. The leaders are starting to make their way through. Oh, we've got an MX-5 slow on the inside too. Don't know what that's about. Blown motor.
I believe that would be Bobby Childs, possibly, because he's the latest car that's been lapped.
I think you're right. Bobby Charles showing up on the event viewer right now,
and
jumping back to the pits as well. So yeah, that's a shame for him.
Really unfortunate luck there. Is now that Aeronom's catching up to 61 of Mike Taylor now, and oh boy, this is gonna get interesting. Everyone's trying to get through the lap car as quickly as possible, trying not to lose that draft. Very clean. Boy, that Mike Taylor's got to hang on the inside. Definitely a scary moment for him.
Yeah, good sort of bit of traffic negotiation going on out there. This looks pretty tasty. Back there, that is Dam and Iannucci. Not used to seeing Mike Dam in 9th place in this car, that's for sure. He's been extremely quick. Has drove this in the past. Of course, won some championships.
He has. Today, looks like he struggled with qualifying, but he has gained 2 positions from where he started at, so still in the positive, and hopefully he'll be able to work his way up pretty soon.
This man though needs no introduction at all. Rob Hartley doing a great job in 4th place right now. He'll hope to work his way towards the very front. That's kind of his nature, and I think Nom's going to have his A game with him today, because Rob is another driver who absolutely nails the strategy. Always seems to get it bang on.
Absolutely is. Here they go around the lap cars. So we're going to look further back now. Michael Mohagan, I'm hoping, or Monahagan, I hope I said that right.
Yeah, I've always said Monaghan, but I could be wrong.
Oh, okay.
So Michael's never ever corrected me or some of the others. So, well.
Ooh, they might go 3 wide here for a second, because Raymond Bader and Steve Daniel are fighting it out. Actually, no, Raymond Bader is also fighting out. Too wide, coming into turn 1. Oof, almost made some contact there. Was Raymond Bader almost made contact with Trent Brown there for a split second.
Just give each other enough room there, so like you say, so no real issues or anything like that.
Ooh, I just heard over race control. Pat Iannucci passing under yellow, or he was too far below the yellow line. Drive-through penalty for Pat Iannucci in the number 8 car.
Wow, that's pretty severe. I'm going to see if I can find where he may well done that overtake. Have a look. This could well be it. This would be on Kevin Ford. He did it. Well, there he is here. He's at the high side.
Unless it was just him running too low. Ooh, boy, that was close.
It was close.
Huh.
Let me see if I can find it on the events here. Dare say he's not the only person. Could well have been when he was going by traffic, you see, as well. That's the thing. Which we won't pick up, unfortunately.
Yeah, more than that might be the case.
Seeing some separation now within the front guys as well. Rob Hartley, I believe he is sort of the final car of that little lead sort of quartet now. We're looking at Tyler Shiflett, who's 2.24 seconds back. So that group's been very much broke apart. And that was with the traffic. Clint Vigus didn't want that at all. He'd have wanted to stay tucked in the draft of the top 4. But yeah, I'm afraid that's not going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that gap, with now only a 4-car train, and definitely made a difference there. But they still have an opportunity. There's still plenty of racing to go. Still got an hour and 10 minutes approximately before they really have to start panicking. So there's still plenty of opportunities as they're closing up on Luis Loper now for the next lapped car, or actually 2 cars. That's 89 of Eric Violet, actually. So they're definitely catching up to some lap traffic, so they might have an opportunity to make some passes pretty soon.
Now, I don't think they will. I think we're going to see a very, very cagey first stint. Only unless it literally is handed to them on a plate. I really do think people are mainly interested right now in trying to stay all bunched up together and saving as much fuel as they can possibly do. Tyler Shiflett will want a better exit here. It might well help him gain some time because he was a couple of seconds back, and right now he's come out of the chicane just 0.8 of a second back, well 0.9 of a second back. So that was good lap for him. Traffic worked in his favour. There's a ridiculously close battle going on between Hartley and Stephen Thomas just ahead though, and I think Hartley's actually pushing Thomas down the straight now, trying to work his way on the chasing group behind, but also get back up to the front too, as they lost nearly 1.6 seconds.
That's unbelievable.
That is crazy. And,
as Thomas goes a little wide there. I gave third to Robert Hartley easily.
Yeah, no more fuel saving for Rob there. He knew, I think, that he was getting held up by Thomas, so needed to get by. If he had any chance whatsoever of closing back in on Ian Wright and Aaron Nom.
Absolutely. So far, 2.2 seconds is the gap right now between Robert Hartley and Leon Wright, which is Leon Wright starting to lose a little bit of draft from Aaron Nom. Or actually, no, that drop, it's starting to drop again. But even still, just these two being the lone 2 now of the front pack for the GS class, this is going to get real interesting for them if they can be able to pull away from the rest of the field and make it a 2-man race.
Yeah, well, I think that's certainly what they'll want to do. I say, right. I think he's doing the right thing. He's using his head here. He's not trying to push. He's just using Nom's pace and the draft to pull away from the rest of the pack. And of course, more than anything, he's saving more fuel than they are as well. So that'll definitely come into play when we hit maybe the first, maybe the second stop. It's not always evident straight away.
Yeah, I believe that second stint will really make a difference.
Again, just easing on the gas there. Probably 3/4. In the draft, we brought it up on screen earlier on, the top speed, but way in the 250 marks, and really just not even threatening that there.
I am noticing though, Robert Hartley is starting to gain ground a little bit. Gap's dropped a little bit. It's down to 2.1. It was down to 1.8 at one point. So it looks like with Robert Hartley being up front of this small little group, they might have an opportunity to catch back up.
Good little battle between Dan Ford and Iannucci. Obviously, Pat has got to drive through at some point, but doesn't want to make it easy for these people. Good battling though. Ford up the inside of Iannucci. Get a slightly tighter line onto the oval section, but of course won't quite carry the speed, and you can see that there as Iannucci looked like he was...
A lot of side draft.
Yeah, he looked like he was done, but all of a sudden, right up there.
Side draft will definitely have a big role in this race today, especially coming into the last few laps of the race. That'll be a big make or break for some of these drivers if they want to try to get that little extra advantage coming to the line.
We've seen some epically close battles over the past at this circuit. Either way it happens, everyone seems to come back to each other. Hope for another one like that. There, that's Matthew Katila. He's jumped in. Go away. That's jumped in.
Early strategy, possibly. Keeping an eye on the pit timer.
Ridiculously close battle here on circuit as well. Is Raymond Bader and Russ Ruddock.
Oh, look out! And everyone, oh, I heard another wreck. 69 just had unfortunate luck there. Whoa, boy, that was close.
Take a little look at that back, see exactly how that sort of came to be, because like you say,
95 just got on the brakes, let off. Then as he let off, the 69 got a little bit further on the brakes, and did not. Trent Brown in the 83 it was the 83. It was a purple car. He just not able to react quick enough, and around goes the 69, and a lot of heavy damage on that front left.
Yeah, very unfortunate there. It's going to have to work hard to keep that going. Of course, we're only at sort of third race distance at this point as well. A long way to go.
Absolutely. I'm just noticing the times that Robert Hartley's gaining a little bit of ground, but not much. Looking at the lap times, Hartley was at a 2, and race control just comes on the radio, and there will be a drive-through penalty for the 95 for that contact, which is Russ Ruddock for the contact involving the 69 going into turn 1.
That's pretty much what we thought there, I think. Slam dunk, really, just a little nip from behind, but it's always going to be that.
Iannucci and Kevin Ford in the pits. Early stop for Ford.
Yeah, 3 of them in. Day early, but we're pretty much bang on that third race distance, aren't we? You know, if you wanted to divide the stints up nicely, that's how you would kind of do it. Of course, again, for those that don't know the overlay and what's being displayed on screen right now, of course, you have our pit stop bar at the very bottom. Obviously the colour represents the class. Flash their what should be their livery colour, and worth pointing that out to the drivers. If you want that to match your actual livery, then go and paint your default paint colour of the car to that, and that will match. Have the pit lane time, and then in the brackets you actually have the stationary time. Like I say, little gaps popping up, but one that's still very much race on right now is this battle for 11th place. That's Bader, Bidwell and Brown. You've got to have a surname that starts with B to be involved in the battle, though. And yeah, Bidwell, slightly wider line going into the chicane. Neither of them got a very good exit there. The person who got the best exit actually was Brown in 13th place. Carries that momentum through. He might well be there by the time we reach the braking zone for turn 1.
Yeah, he might be able to just leapfrog both of them, or, well, actually, it looked like he let off a little bit. No, actually, never mind. Oh, he's got a lot of speed. Look out. He's able to slow down in time from what it looks like, but boy.
Yeah, comfortable, alright, looks like in the end.
Everyone in the pits. Arrow Nom, Stephen Thompson, Thomas, Leon Wright, Robert Hartley, Tyler Shiflett, Brandon Whitworth. Pretty much everyone that didn't pit yet. Actually, other than Clint Vigas. He has stayed out one more lap.
Clint has saved the fuel. That's going to help him come later on.
That's not to really shake things up now.
There on your screen, you see what drivers are actually pitting. But pit times, total time in the pit lane. So what have we got quickest out there right now? Nom was 47.5. That just goes to show. But actually, it was Shiflett who had the quickest time. See there, 47.4. Brown a bit further back. Also sort of time, so.
And I'm just looking up on the YouTube chat, and we now know what happened to Bobby Childs. Apparently his shifter has been malfunctioning. Sent him, I guess apparently when he went to shift into 5th gear, it shifted into 3rd on him. Blew the motor and everything. Ended his race.
Gutted. So Clint Vigas into the pit box then. He needs a short stop here. See if he can get back into the front pack. Top 2 cars obviously had broke away a couple of seconds. If he can nail it this time, bring the pit time up as well. We'll look at what we're looking for. So looking at about 23.7. It's a 22.1. Years away. There goes the leaders. Obviously, we'll have a tighter line through turn 1. Oh, is he going to be in the draft, Tyler? I'm not sure. I think he might be. To really get up and running.
He may or may not. Yeah, he may or may not. But he's going to have some help in Tyler Shiflett, though. Robert Hartley fell back a little bit, actually. Robert Hartley's down to 6th, I just noticed. Must have been a really bad pit stop for Robert Hartley. Did not just now saw that. That's definitely different from being up in 3rd where he was at.
Yeah, indeed. Did like say not the best at all. Right. Well, pit stops have happened here in the GS class. We're going to have them on us very, very shortly, I would think, in the ST class as well. But before we do that, we'll head away for a tiny little break. Check in with our commercial partners that have to offer. We'll be back right here on Apex Racing TV on a Facebook Live and Twitch TV with the second third of this race here at Daytona. Stay with us.
Are you a fan of the Ricmotech Sports Car Series? Now is your chance to show off your favorite sim racing series by visiting our online store. With clothing and apparel for women and men in all sizes, merchandise and gift items like coffee mugs, laptop skins, mouse pads, and many more items to display your passion for sports car sim racing. Visit us today at ExtremeMotorsports99.com and click on the online store button. Thank you for watching and supporting the Ricmotech Sports Car Series.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV, and for some unknown reason it would appear the role of the adverts didn't pop up for you there, so apologies for that. We'll get them up in the next phase. But well, we said we were going to have pit stops for the GS and the ST when we come back, and indeed that's exactly what's going on right now out there as well. So few drivers in pit lane. And just to answer the question that put out there as well, the Twitch channel is obviously Twitch.tv/Apex Racing TV. Waiting for our live timing to catch itself up at the moment because got a little bit out of shape.
Oh, this is going to get interesting for the rejoins.
Yeah, just looking at David Payton right now. He's got tucked up behind him Jordan Watt.
As the lights come on now.
Yeah, so, well, I think we're going to end up basically in the sort of in the night conditions. I do remember talking to Kevin before we had the sort of schedule sent over to us. He said this will be the first one that they've ever done at Daytona in the night. So yeah, it's going to make for a slightly different challenge, that's for sure, for the guys. Just adjust their braking points if needs be. Obviously there'll be a lot of grip out there, the cool conditions, track temps will be absolutely perfect, so make the tyres last longer as well. So you'll see probably in the final stop a lot of people will be doing just a two tyre stop. Yeah,
absolutely. As looking at the time right now, the sim time right now, they have it based off of May 15th of 2019, which usually around the summertime here in Florida, the sun you usually don't get total darkness until almost late hours, like about 8 o'clock Eastern, 8 to 9 o'clock Eastern at night. So right now they're about to approach 7 o'clock. They're about to approach 7 o'clock nighttime for in the sim time, but it's still plenty of opportunities for dark nighttime racing when, especially near the end of the race, and that'll be really where it really matters for them.
It's up the inside then. This is thought that was Jordan going to go up the inside into turn 1, but in the end couldn't quite get it done. They're obviously battling just ahead as well. This is Alan and Liz. They've literally not been separated all race long.
Ooh, little tire smoke there, I saw. As the cones go flying.
Well, the cone's always the victim, aren't they? Innocent victim.
Yeah, that's the only
of
sad
sim
thing,
racing, that's for sure. You just gotta do what a wonderful job the sim racing marshals do, though. They're out there every time putting them back without fail.
Right? It's just really impressive how quick they can be able to get out there and get that taken care of in time.
Very much Elvis TV as well for hosting this over on Twitch. Something new that we're doing for this year, slowly building it up. We really are in its absolute infancy, just trying to get some races out on that platform as well. Do more and more, get the channel working properly, get it a bit more interactive and things like that. Really just testing our own restream server out as well. Of course, it'd be great if you guys can pop up on the Facebook page and come and share that, share the event. Alan.
Look. Never mind.
Did Travis just get out of that then, or did he have?
That's what I was wondering. At first I thought he.
Yeah, I wondered if he had a slowdown that he was trying to get served or something like that. But yeah, because he just lost so much time there. But actually, I think in the end he's just saving fuel as well.
Yeah, because he was up front for a little bit, and then when Jim List and John D. Allen caught up, he just slowed up a little bit, but now he's right back on the pace. Allen goes a little wide there for a second.
I didn't lose too much. Right, what is going on at the front right now? Because it's pretty exciting, I have to say. All of a sudden, got Nom was under a bit of pressure from Wright, and it actually looked like Wright was going to make a move, but actually bailed out of it, and it's fallen 0.6 of a second back. I was looking at the moment ago, and there was less than a tenth between them.
It's unbelievable, just how both Leon Wright and Aeronom are able to pull away, and then here you have Clint Vigas, Tyler Shiflett, and Stephen Thompson literally in a train trying to catch up, and they're just having no luck at all in trying to catch up.
Yeah, they just need some cut a break or something like that, don't they, with the traffic? So one bit of traffic that holds those guys up to, a second and a half or something, then they'll be back in that draft and they're absolutely game on from there. Pat Iannucci, has he served his drive-through now?
I want to say yes. I'm not 100% sure, honestly. Looking back. Oh, okay. When I just looked back at the chat history since it for the race control, I made a mistake actually. It was advancing below the double yellow line, but it was a warning though. It was not. It was actually not. It was actually not a penalty. That's where I was mistaken now, because it sounded like they were saying on the race control that it was being black flagged. So, and apparently just now there's a incident involving the 56 of Cameron Bidwell and the 00 of the 00, if I can recall who the 00 is. Apparently there was an incident that is being reviewed.
If that's it, this is it. Oh, it's just the smallest touch from behind, isn't it?
Yeah, that would be in Raymond Batter.
Yeah, I think it was Raymond actually that just got into him ever so slightly. So we'll have to see what they do on that one, because I don't think there's any question there. There's only one person I feel like that could probably have avoided that incident. Yeah, unfortunately it wasn't Cameron Bidwell, so sorry Raymond. Just might have you for that one. Whether it be a warning or not, we will have to wait and see. Of course, he's now battling with Trent Brown.
Looked like he got around him fairly easily there.
Like, damn, up 4 places in 7th. I mean, that's crazy to say. Only up 4. Used to seeing him at the very front of this pack. 6 seconds behind Rob Hartley.
And that's going to be a lot of asking, especially when he's almost a full 11 seconds behind Aero Nam.
Yeah, I just can't see him getting back there. We're already halfway through this race now.
And the 00 was black flagged for that incident, and he's heading towards going to be on his way to drive-through penalty.
Well, it is a shame, but I feel like that's probably the right call there.
Yeah, I can agree with that. That's split second there when he switched over to John D. Allen. He was sideways going through turn 1. Looked like he almost could have lost it there.
Like a bit sideways action. Reminds me of the Autosport show in the NEC at the weekend, and yeah, on the live arena there we saw plenty of sideways action, some great demonstrations of car control.
Nice.
I don't think this battle's going to go away anytime soon. Of course, it is for first in class.
Absolutely not.
Sitting here, watch it. All of a sudden, a Mustang appears, and Alan has to get out of it just a little bit more than perhaps he wanted to. Good exit, just to see. Getting the car rotated with the back streets. Look at the run he's got out of there.
Oh my goodness.
Do anything with it.
This might hurt him in the long run with trying to keep up with the other 3, as that gap's starting to increase a little bit.
Got enough of a run though. I think just slowly catching back up with these guys. Oh, look at that! Maxed out on the gears or just coasting? I think just coasting.
Yeah, I think he maxed out on the gear, but he's slowing up now.
Travis has risen to the top of the standings. Great drive so far from him. Can't believe we're 50 minutes through this race already.
Absolutely, yeah, it's going by very quick as we heard a lot of squealing tires there. It sounded like it was coming from Jim List for a minute. Yeah, definitely shocking to see that we're already 50 minutes in this race and we still got the money stop for a lot of these guys as well.
battle continues. Well, I say this battle continues, but we haven't really covered it too much. This is Gibson and Jacobs. Just 0.3 of a second separate those guys at the minute. Both nailing their apex through the first of the hairpins here.
Great battle though, especially for 10. This could be a big defining moment for Gibson if he can hold off and finish in 10th. Started in 12th earlier and just worked his way up 10th place right now. So finishing top 10 would be a good confidence booster for Paul Gibson.
Makes a huge difference, actually. I remember in the past for myself. Yeah,
and it's
important.
Yeah, and especially when you have a big difference in skill level too, especially where you have Aeronom and Leon Wright and Tyler Shiflett, where Aeronom's got almost 7,000 I rating and Tyler Shiflett at 5,000, and then you have a few others. But at the same time, it's almost like the I rating can't really show some of the skills, but you can tell that this driver's skill level, and especially with some of these lower guys that are further down in the GS class. I mean, they're still giving some really great battles against other drivers that are right in their skill level. Especially with how Gibson's been running, if he can be able to hold that off and finish top 10, and especially in a really good field like this, that'll definitely give him a good confidence booster going into next week.
Talking of next week, I'm just going to have a very quick look and see where we are actually going to be. Because I know the schedule is pretty full on at this point. Of course, we've got not only have we got the return of the sports car series, it is the return of the World Challenge series as well. Slightly different.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, slightly different lineup and rules coming on for that one as well. So yeah, that's going to make it quite an exciting one. That's. And where we're at next week, of course. Okay, so yeah, from one iconic track to another, we head to Sebring for next week as well. So complete chalk and cheese in terms of racetracks and how you're going to need to set them up and set the cars up and things like that. But what a contrast.
Well, at least travel-wise, that'll be very good for the teams, especially when you're going from Daytona and all you have to do is about a 3-hour drive down to Sebring. So, well, actually, not more like a 3.5-hour drive, I should say. So at least it won't be too bad on them for travel-wise.
Yeah. It's somewhere I've always wanted to go to, actually. Sebring, see it in the flesh.
Yeah, and I can't wait to get down there and coming in this March for actually having the rare opportunity for myself of being able to go see the 12 hours of Sebring, as well as with the World Endurance Championship being out there this year, which I didn't know about until recently, thanks to you and a few other guys from the Apex. Because otherwise, I would have only have looked at it as thinking it was only the 12-hour race.
Go. I'm going to jump on board again with Wright, just to see if he's in that same position of just coasting behind. Sounds like it, although full chat right there. No, massive lift, yeah, massive lift. Got to play the game, that's for sure. This is all going to come to him in the final stint. Just needs to make sure he gets his fuel calculations correct. Of course, there are apps and things like that that can help you get that right. Personally, we've got one in development with SDK Gaming. Pretty hard at it all the way down the straight. Goes to the top. Makes the line a little bit longer so he won't get the overlap.
Yep. Gets on the brakes a little earlier just in case. Gives himself enough room, but that might have just cost him a little bit there, as he did lose about a good 1/2 of a second there.
I don't think he's too worried about it because he just knows how much time he can gain in these little straightaway sections, but then of course the really, really big oval section. We'll stay with them actually. Oh, the coast.
Oh boy.
Flying. So what are we, 7/10, 6/10, so it's going to be about half a second. Got a better exit there, that's for sure. We're about half a second going in. See what it is.
Spun the tires a little bit there, getting onto the oval section.
Right, here we go then. This is what we're trying to witness. See how much that gap comes down. That's pretty sizable, I tell you. It's going to make it very, very interesting. Person who is leading with a lap to go if they've got someone on their tail, because I can't see how they're going to stay in front.
Absolutely, yeah. If that gap is within half a second, or maybe more like 0.4 of a second gap, it can really be a big difference. I mean, right here it was coming out of the bus stop, he was 0.4 of a second, and that gap now is all the way in the red. It's down to 15 hundredths of a second now.
Yeah, would have gone below a tenth quite easily had he not got out of it. So I'm going to jump away from this one because I can't see making a move quite at this stage. We're still about half an hour ago. Third, fourth and fifth. Partly done well to catch on to the tail of these guys. We've got an opportunity for sort of podium for a finish.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm looking at the positions gain. Shiflet's been doing really well. Started 6th and stepped to 3rd. Hold on to that. That'll be another good podium finish for Tyler Shiflet.
I remember the last time we broadcasted on him. I think he had a good meeting there as well. So. Sitting here watching, really see exactly what's going on. And it's Hartley that's got the best run. He'll want to get by Vargas, I feel, and make sure he's the person that can put the charge on Shiflet as and when the time comes.
Absolutely. Yeah, especially when Clint Vargas has a little bit of rear damage, and especially it looks like he's gotten rear-ended earlier in the race for Clint Vargas.
Yeah, just enough perhaps on that wing just to slow him down a K or something like that. Make it very difficult for him to get the run, because it looks like he's almost just holding on. Over an hour to go. Have a little check-in, see what's going on elsewhere.
There goes Robert Hartley in, as well as Pat Iannucci in for the pits for the GS class.
That makes sense. So they came in, one of the earlier ones. Oh, some changing going on here as well. So this is Peyton and List really trying to work together. Just like NASCAR with the interchanging of positions there.
And List coming in
one more time as well. Oh, you're right, he is in. So, yep.
As well as Travis Swanky as well into the pits. So David Patton, your leader in the ST class for now, I should say. It's going to be a big make or break for David Patton here. Because 31 going around. Just Paul Gibson and then Jeff Jacobs not that far behind. Good battle for both of these guys as Gibson's up to 7th place now and Jacobs is up to 8th.
Battle all the way back here. So I'm trying to show obviously a few battles further back, something that we've take the feedback on and other close racing on there. So whenever we get an opportunity, we'll do that. It's Edgar Sancinelli racing with Jordan Walk. Jordan showing us down 6 spots at the moment, but quite sure what's happened there. Is he stopped? Yes, he has. That may well be why.
Yeah, he's had a third pit. Well, it's saying he's had a third pit stop, so I believe he might have had some incidents earlier. As Aaron Num and Leon Wright now in the pits as well as Kevin Ford, Russ Rudek, and Robert Briss all in and out of the pits now.
Nail it.
Shiflett and Vigas staying out. This is going to be a key for them now.
They did. Was it Clint? I think it was Clint who went 1 lap extra last time. Comfortable, I think.
It was Clint Vigas that went 1 lap extra.
More people into the pits. That's Jeff Jacobs, Paul Gibson, Cameron Bidwell in.
We still
start to separate apart. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
That's
good. I was just saying that there's only about a little less than 30 minutes to go in the race, so perfect time for a lot of these drivers to make that pit stop now.
And actually, I think it's perfect time for us just to disappear away for a short second and check back in with Ricmotech. And so don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a couple of moments' time. And welcome back. Final part of the race tonight here on Apex Racing TV. And, well, currently, Tyler, it's Clint Vigas that leads the way, but he literally jumps into the pits. Oh, he's heavy on the brakes, but I think he got it stopped in time. And then it was Aaron Nom who can get back. And, well, I told you it was all about the strategy. And that is exactly what's happened, because let me just bring up the graphics. Of course, Wright was right on the tail of Nom the whole first and second stint, but still, even with that fuel saving going on, Nom in the pits, 44.5 second, phenomenal final sector, absolutely. That, I'm assuming, is going to be completely on the money in terms of how close he needs to go, but on fuel. But I think needed to do that, you know. Just amazes me that he can, you know, he's fuel saved like that to be able to actually short fuel compared to the right there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just really shocking at how everything is, and looking at the timing, it seems like Clint Vigas is having some issues. But back to Aeronom and Leon Wright, just with how that pit stop went, they both came in at the same time, and Aeronom just all of a sudden a 3-second gap over Leon Wright, make that 4 seconds now. I mean that's impressive. It just Leon just had no opportunity. As soon as Aero was gone, it was just see ya. He's leaving you behind.
Yep, he's just tactical driving. It's great. He does that. He's obviously been perhaps lift coasting himself a little bit going into some of these sort of heavy braking zones. Try and save some fuel that way, and it's worked well for him. Absolutely.
As we're watching the top 3 in the ST class battle it out, Travis Schwenke gets around Luis Loper very easily, as Luis Loper should be pitting either this time or next time by, as he's only came into the pits once. So definitely time for him to get some fuel, as we still have about 23 minutes roughly to go in this race. So still a lot to be decided. There's a lot of jumping in positions, and a lot can happen in 20 minutes.
Indeed it can. I also did 3 20-minute races myself earlier on tonight in the World GT, and they can fly. So you guys are in a battle right now. That's going to be over before you can say knife, I think, for them. But yeah,
absolutely.
What is going on, right, Travis? With List, but such a great race. There is some other little battles going on as well. Elvis Rankin behind. This is the 32nd. Good turnout tonight, Tyler, I have to say. We got 38 cars, excluding the official.
Yeah, very impressive, and especially when you have 19 cars for the ST class, and then you go from 20, and then you have 18 cars roughly for the, or I should say 18 cars for the ST class. Very impressive field. And especially when throughout the entire field you have some really decent battles going on as well. And that's not just for first, it's for all of the other places in between.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was having a little look around there just to see what was going on. But getting seen even closer.
Yeah, but this might be
a little look on the MX-5. This is Jacob Beasley as well. He's down 3 spots, but he's closing in a little bit on Derek Holland. Still want this place. Sure.
Absolutely is. Keeping an eye on a few other battles going on. Looks like as well Stephen Stephen Thomas is having a good battle with Pat Iannucci right now. They're almost only 0.2 of a second difference right now for fighting for 6th.
Good close battles. Right, what is going on? Trying to find the closest battle out there. I think it's probably this one right now, and that's Hartley and Shiflett. Hartley has not been able to drop Tyler once he's got by him, but not been able to make any hit ground either to Leon Wright. Kind of in limbo land right now, just trying to hold on to this podium.
Absolutely, yes. It looks like the time the gap is starting to drop a little bit between Hartley and Shiflett compared to the Leon Wright who's in front of both of them, but the gap is still just pulling away though for Aeronom. Aeronom's just he's in another realm, I should say, because I mean Robert Hartley is one of the best drivers out there, and even with some of his times, it's still not enough to keep up with Aeronom and try to knock down the gap as much as possible. Just very impressive overall.
Good run, really, considering the first time. Well, I say first time in the car. First time we've seen him in the car. He might well have been in it before. Right, who's that slow on the apron? I'm not sure it's slow. Just a difference between Mustang and MX-5. Very much clear to see there.
And that was the 29 of Patrick Prevnez there that was being lapped. Gave Robert Hartley a little bit of a gap, as well as Shiflett was now 0.6 of a second behind Hartley now, coming into turn 1 now.
I think for Hartley more than anything, just kind of wants someone to return the favour, where he give him a little bit of a push. Wants the same again. See if he can try and close that gap down a bit further up the road.
Thomas is running well. Now looking towards this battle's gonna be this battle here is gonna come down to the wire. Swanky versus Jim Liss. This might end up being like one of those last lap moves to win the race. And right now Jim Liss is in the catbird seat, but as long as he doesn't make any mistakes, he will have that opportunity to try to take advantage of the draft and try to pass Travis Swanky on the last lap.
I think right on the line. I'm just trying to remember with the BSR races that we had here as well. You can get a run. You can't afford to be too close coming off of the chicane, otherwise you don't get enough of overspeed to get by. But you need to be close enough so that you get a decent draft. So if this can nail that, or actually can Travis somewhat work it so that it puts these guys under pressure.
Absolutely. Looks like Jim Liss is closing up a little bit. It's about 0.5 of a second now, the gap to Travis Swanky. Just biding his time, as we still got about 15 minutes to go in the race. So very few laps left, but still a lot of time where things can happen.
Yeah, it hasn't quite got to the real business part of it yet, has it? Because you can just see Liss just sitting there being patient, waiting for an opportunity.
And that's probably the best thing that Jim Liss can do, is wait it out, wait until you get near to the final lap, just make sure you don't make any mistakes, and try to stay as close as you can to the car in front of you, which in this case is Swanky, and hope that you can be able to make a last second move and be able to pull off a unexpected win, especially on a really good driver as Travis Swanky.
Allen on patent goes through on the outside.
The bus stop. Gonna be interesting.
Chicane coming up. goes straight for the apex, so knows he's cleared him.
Ooh. Little bit of wheel spin there. Still about a 0.3 of a second gap though for Patton, as he should have the gap here and might have an opportunity to try to overtake.
Straight back through. They've actually looked like they're almost working together there as well, as Alan just moved to the high side. Mustang
Looks
comes
like-
raring through.
Yeah, looks like they're trying to close up the gap. They're about a 5-second gap, and if they can run a little bit quicker lap times, they might have an opportunity. But that last lap times, Schwenke and List were just 0.1 of a second quicker than Patton and Allen, but all 4 of them are running in the 2:10s currently.
Impressive. I feel like the track has come to the guys over the run. Obviously, the cooler the conditions, the better the tyres last. Able to sort of push on now. Actually, the gaps to the leaders, just sort of into the mid-pack, is a lot closer than what I thought it would be this season. I felt like I was going to see huge gaps, but it happened, so bodes well for the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely, and hopefully we can see that more often too, where there's some really good group battles throughout the whole season.
At lap 38, we're 1 minute 17 in. 1 minute? Wow, that would be impressive, wouldn't it? 1 minute. You can tell I'm struggling. Yeah, apologies everyone. Obviously, I'm just a little off tonight, as it's very, very late here. 2:54 in the morning, and yeah, I am ready for my bed. That's for sure.
I don't blame you there.
Just wondered what everyone's opinion was on a couple of little tweaks that we've done to the overlay. Obviously, we've managed to get a few extra little features like the sort of the pit indicator on the left-hand side, as well as sort of like the ranking, and of course, I don't know if you can see that the timing tower is completely combined with the sort of the class position shown rather than an overall one as well. Let us know if there's anything else you'd like to see on there as well. We might be able to sort something out. Either let us know on the YouTube chat or do it on the Facebook one as well. There's a whole video dedicated to this.
Great battle here with Allen and Patton right now. Only 0.3 of a second difference, and right now the way they're battling, it's that gap's starting to increase on them. On if they wanted to try to catch up to Schwenke and List, almost looks as if this is going to end up being a battle for podium, and someone's going to get podium, and someone's going to be left out to dry.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right there. That's kind of it now. It's all about just maintaining sort of at least the opportunity to get that podium. Don't let the guys behind catch up. That would be silly to race at this point. We've got Eric Violet really behind. Can't afford him to catch up and the moves on him.
Yeah, that looks like right now, looking at the gaps, Eric Violet's all by himself, so it's going to be a one disadvantage there, as now we'll keep an eye on Robert Hartley. It's caught up to Leon Wright, so things are really going to start shaking out now.
Leon, of course, lost the draft, didn't he, when we mentioned about it, and it's hurting him now big.
Absolutely is. You can even, looks like Hartley's got a little bit, I guess one of the off tracks he had earlier pushed up the spoiler a little bit on near the middle of the car for Robert Hartley. It's not hurting him for aero or anything, but definitely just now noticed that. So he's definitely has gone off track a couple of times.
Yeah, I think you got to allow him the odd one. I say that because obviously squeezing
boy.
up high. That was lucky.
Yeah, it could have ended disastrously.
Somewhat out of shape in the braking zone as well. Really, really tight line, but we'll get the job done.
As should be able to pass. Nope. Oh boy, that was close.
Both of them
That was
pretty
like
early on the
few
gas on the
inches
way
there.
out there. But
Yeah.
got to send them in, haven't you? And just sort of see what sticks.
I've also noticed too, Shiflet's catching up now, so Shiflet might have an opportunity to get around Leon Wright, as Leon's just really struggling now, especially as they're closing in on Alan and Patton now, as they're still fighting for a podium spot.
Yeah, it's worth pointing out. Someone mentioned that team names might be incorrect, and I'm not sure why this is, and we'll have to pick it up with Kevin as well. But normally we have the right teams, and it just seems like team names and classes haven't been saved for some strange reason on the overlay. So we need to get on top of that for the next round and hopefully sort those little quirks out with the wrong team. But we'll get that done. Three-tenths of a second. Is he going to get a run? Still don't think they'll take it at this point. I still think it's far too early.
Yeah, we still have 8 minutes to go in the race, so still a lot can happen.
Question on what happened to Stephen Thomas. Let's see if we can.
He's down right now. The last update, he's down in 10th. He's lost 8 spots from where he started at, so definitely has been struggling for him, or actually make that 8th place. So but either way, Thomas has really been struggling tonight.
Yeah.
Looks like probably car setup, possibly, as his last lap time was a 2:03, so definitely 2 seconds off the pace of the top 5. So definitely a big struggle there.
Iannucci trying to get the run on Clint Vigas. Finally retained or got back to the position he was in at the start of this race, where he was. This is just getting extremely. Always gets a little interesting as we reach the final 7 minutes of this race.
Absolutely, and I just noticed who's in 5th, and I have to admit, great drive by him so far. The 93 of Mike Dam started in 11th, and he's currently up to 5th right now. Been running really clean, actually, and got caught up in a little bit of incidents earlier, trying to avoid some incidents. But great run by Mike Dam so far, and if he can run this out and be able to have a good run and stay ahead of both Clint Vigas and Pat Iannucci, he'll lock in a nice top 5 place for him.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay with that, but knowing Mike and how quick he is in this car, I think he'll feel like done better than that. Couldn't get to forward enough as we watch these guys battling it out for second place. There's nothing between them right now. Yeah, I feel like he thinks he'll have wanted more. Right, unfortunately dropping back. We're down a net loss now of 1 place from where he qualified. How quickly it can change.
Absolutely. And I mean, I wonder if the tires are really starting to fall off on Leon. That has been a big struggle, because it seems like after the final pit stop, he's just has not been able to do the same as what he did in the first stint, and it's really hurting him.
Just coming out of the pits, yeah.
Yep. This looks like he didn't have enough fuel, so that gives Alan second place.
Curveball. Got to get that right. Got to account for the fact that the track condition change and the fuel figures increase. Perhaps that's not what was taken into consideration there.
Right now, John D. Allen and Travis Swanky and David Patton right now, the top 3 for the ST classes, all separated out right now. Travis Swanky's got a 4-second gap over John Allen, and John Allen's got a 4-second gap over David Patton. So, unless something happens fuel-wise, or if they run out of fuel or don't have enough, this might be an interesting end to the race for the ST classes. Not really anything big going on other than just this big battle we have for the GS class with Hartley, Shiflett, and Leon Wright. Who actually Leon Wright's really struggling.
Yeah, 2 points something now.
It's dropping big. It's down to almost 2.5.
Got to be fuel saving.
Gotta
Just
be.
trying to make it to the end without having to drop in another one, but the minute you realise is when you need to start doing it. I think he might have left it just late, 3 laps to go. Maybe.
Yeah, absolutely is. 30 laps, unlike Shiflett and Hartley. So but yeah, that strategy definitely did not fall in favor of Leon, as he's now almost 3 seconds now to Leon to Shiflett and Hartley. So
well, that's my excuse anyway. But either that, or I was just envisioning him roundabout where he is now. My head, that's for sure. Well,
right.
2 laps then, I think. Looking at this
Yeah.
one coming and one more.
Yeah, it should be about 2 laps because
Oh no, it's not.
they're at 1:28 now as he's coming down the long stretch after turn 4, getting ready to cross the start-finish line. So this might be white flag too.
I think
Not
this
sure.
will. Yeah, I think this will be actually white flag. This is going to be the final lap of the race because about 2 minutes, isn't it, for a lap time? So not going to get there. We'll have to see. But yeah, 5.3 seconds clear of Rob Hartley in the end. What a great drive.
Absolutely, yes. This battle's going to get really interesting for Hartley and Shiflett. Right now, 3/10 of a second. Actually, make that a lot closer now. As here goes Shiflett on the battle. Oh, look out! We got a lap car. Hopefully,
Oh, well, not what you want in the last lap of the race.
This is going to be close. Late braking as well by both. Shiflett's able to have a little bit better drive out, possibly. Nope, Hartley actually has the better drive out.
Got on the power early and the car didn't understeer at all. It just rotated around lovely. So yeah.
Absolutely is. Here we go, coming down, getting on the oval section. It's gonna be a make or break now for him.
When do you go? That's the thing.
It's got to be go. You pretty much got to go right after you get out of the bus stop. You got to get that draft and just hammer down and hope you can get there in time.
And you need to leave enough room, like I say, to get the overspeed, but not so much that you can't get
Yeah,
by.
he needs to brake earlier. Oh, that was a little later. That might hurt Shiflett. Shiflett needed to brake a little earlier than Hartley and then get back on the gas.
Though. Phenomenal exit. He's got every opportunity now. He just needs to
Absolutely.
make sure he builds that speed.
Oh, he's got to get the side draft now. The big wreck. I just heard
I heard it as well. Don't know where, but here comes Aeronom anyway. Continues where he left off last season. Oh, it's Hartley. I think he might have been involved in it.
I have a bad feeling that Shiflett might have turned Hartley.
Oh well, let's get that back on a replay. Well, actually, before we do that, where is Travis? Because Travis is going to be coming across soon.
Should be coming around the backstretch now, I believe. Or actually, no, he's coming to getting on the last, heading towards the start-finish line.
Well then, great opener for Travis as well. I know he hasn't won too many recently, so he'll be delighted with that. In the end, got everything right that he needed to. Fuel, tyres, strategy, you know, mate, he did it. Yeah, great result for him. Right, let's see this replay then to figure out what happened. Oh, he's pinching. He wants to slide draft and bang! Oh,
Wow.
the worst.
Right on the last lap, too.
Of course, the engine gone as well for Hartley, so he can't cross the line. I tell you what, that's going to be quite a steward's inquiry, because clearly pinching, much side draft as he could possibly get there.
Yeah, and especially when they're closing up on a lap car as well, and it was an ST car. So, man, that's just... Hartley's just dropping down the order now, and looks like he's going to end up finishing 14th, I believe. 14th or even 15th, but that's really unfortunate there.
Waiting for the final classifications to come in. And Ty, if you wouldn't mind doing the honours and reading them out when they bring them up on screen. And what I'll do is I'll throw it to you as well, just to interview the winners today if they want to pop their heads in. A quick little chat. I'll get myself all sorted here and ready to lock the stream off.
Absolutely. Well, as the race results pop up for the GS class, Aero Nam just absolutely dominant performance again. Had a great battle there with Leon Wright at the start, but Aero Nam pulls away, finishing in first. Tyler Shiflett's in second. Leon Wright actually comes out in third. But be aware, depending on what the incident involving Robert Hartley and Tyler Shiflett, that position with Shiflett might change. So unofficially right now, Shiflett will be in second. Leon Wright will be in third. Mike Dam comes in fourth. Pascal Iannucci in fifth. Clint Vigas in sixth. Stephen Thomas in seventh. Brandon Whitworth eighth. Jeff Jacobs in ninth. Paul Gibson in 10th. Cameron Bidwell had a decent run as well. Gained 6 spots, finishing 11th. Trent Brown in 12th. And Raymond Bader Jr. in 13th. And Stephen Daniel rounding out the lead lap cars in 14th. And then Robert Hartley, just that incident and everything, that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. He's going to end up finishing 15th, not being able to complete the race. Michael Monaghan finishing in 16th. Russ Rudick in 17th. Robert Brist in 18th. And Kevin Ford having issues as well, finishing in 19th. On the and then also, too, I just realized Matthew Catala is also finished 36th overall, and class-wise finished in 20th. Rounding out over to the to the ST side, Travis Schwenke winning it over a hard-charging John D. Allen, finishing in first as Schwenke. John D. Allen in second. David Patton is going to finish in third. Then Eric Violet in fourth. George Fike is going to finish out in fifth after a great start for him as well. Jim List, just unfortunate luck there, strategy-wise, having to pit one more time for fuel. Finishing in sixth. Derek Holland in seventh. Jacob Beasley eighth. Luis Loper is going to finish in ninth. Jordan Walker in 10th. Edgar Sancinelli struggling as well. Elvis Rankin, Michael Key, Mike Taylor, Patrick Preventus having a lot of issues as well as Mike Taylor. And then Chris Thorman finishing in, I'm hoping in 19th, I want to say. And then Bobby Childs having that unfortunate issue, like he said earlier on the chat, where it was a shifter issue, blew the engine. Complete accidental for Bobby. That was really unfortunate there. Then Lyndall McMurphy is had a really bad accident there at the start of the race, finishing in 38th overall and finishing last in the ST group.
Right, we have indeed got the leaders here. Let's go odd way around this time and bring in Travis. So over to you, Tyler, for with Travis here.
Absolutely. So, Travis, what a wild race to say the least for you. Definitely keeping it clean and around Alan and a few other of the ST drivers, able to come away with a win on the strategy. How was the race overall for you, especially with having to worry about the GS cars coming through as well?
Well, I guess a lot cleaner when I don't bounce off some Kias like happened to me the Roar. So everything was great. I don't think I had really a single, maybe one or two times where I felt like I was a little held up or something. But they were racing too, so that's totally fine. They had to do it, so I gave them the space, and no big worries there. I think we were packed up nicely as they came through that first time. That was probably the biggest worry time, is when they make that first and there's 10 or 12 of them together, and they can really split you up if you catch them in the wrong place. But I think everything worked out perfect.
Absolutely, yeah. And the strategies worked out were really well for you there, and especially when you having to fight with Alan. Had a really great battle with Alan as well, especially going into that second stint. At one point, it looked like Alan might have had an opportunity to catch you. Were you looking at your rearview mirror at all?
Oh yeah, definitely. And Jim, that was probably my bigger question after that second stop, was I missed my stall by just a little bit, and then Jim came out right there and caught the draft when I made a mistake out of I made a small mistake, and I think he nailed it at the same time, the bus stop. So I was concerned about him, but then I'm like, maybe he's saving fuel. Maybe he made up that extra 3 seconds and didn't take enough fuel, which of course came to fruition there with 4 or 5 laps to go.
Absolutely, yeah, that was really unfortunate there for Jim List, especially had a great run as well, and then running out of field there at the end as well. So do you have any shout outs that you want to give out while you had the opportunity?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to Ricmotech. Just thank them again for Frank for his support of the series, and you guys there for coming back again another year and doing the broadcast. So look forward to watching it back, and looking forward to another great season here.
Definitely, absolutely. And Travis Swinky, congrats on the win in the ST class again. Excited for next week for you. It's going to be coming down to racing at Sebring, so we wish you the best of luck for that as well for you.
Sounds good. Thank you much.
All right, as we now have our GS winner, and once again, Aeronam winning this again. First off, I have to ask, did you get any off tracks? Because I know how you were serious about that last season. Did you get any off tracks at all?
Yeah, I got 5 total. No, the 1-4 was car contact in turn 1.
Ah, man. But overall, though, that was still a great battle with you. You, as well as the second place driver, Leon Wright. Great battle there throughout the whole entire first hour of the race. Knowing with how your strategy was, did you ever have to keep an eye on him as he was able to keep up with you throughout that first hour of the race?
Yeah, the only place I had to keep an eye on was in the turn 1. Even if he was outside, I was able to brake better in the turn 1. But it was a really tough race in the beginning. I wanted to keep the first place, but everybody behind me was saving fuel, so that was my concern. But the first pit stop, the tires took longer than the fuel, so it didn't matter.
Absolutely, and with running and consistent times like that, being able to keep the pace up and be able to end up having Leon Wright just run out of tires near the end, as he suffered a lot there. Overall driving though for you, how was it, especially with as the times were changing compared to last year, where we didn't have the day-night transition? How was the car handling for you as it was getting in the nighttime here for Daytona?
Yeah, there wasn't any big difference because we started, I think, 20 degrees, and now it was 17. So today it was a big difference, but when it's sunny, it's a huge difference.
Absolutely. Great racing again, Arrow. Got any shout outs for you, for any sponsors in that for you?
Yeah, like always, I want to thank the admins who do all the work here, the league sponsor for having this broadcast, and you guys.
Definitely. And Arrow, great race again. Congrats on the win. Hopefully you can keep it up again, as we'll be heading into Sebring next week. So wish you all the best of luck there, and hopefully you can bring it again and make it 2 for 2 next week.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Alright then, Tyler, that's about us, I think, done. Yeah, sorry to Tyler Shiflett for not bringing him in, but yeah, on these extreme late ones, I'm afraid to run out of time quite quickly. Yeah, thank you for rushing back from work and getting on right at the start. Thanks to all the drivers, thanks to the admin as well for putting this one on. Apologies for being a little sleepy. I have been up for about 24 hours right now, it feels like. So it was an extreme early start. So, but yeah, it's a good one. Of course, Adam Barth, I believe, will be joining with you for next week's one at Sebring. So that'll be an interesting little combo, that's for sure. Both you guys in the booth and the circuit. Be intrigued to see when exactly they start the race as well, time, whether or not we start to go into dust conditions or whatnot, because it's always a great place for that. Should spice it up nicely. But yeah, thanks to all the sponsors as well. So Frank from Ricmotech as well, and apologies, I'll have to learn the sponsor's name as well. But yeah, so for Proforma as well, so Elite Texas Graphics, thanks guys for coming on board as well, and go check those out as well. You can see the web URL on screen right now. But yeah, for myself and Tyler, from the whole crew here at Apex Racing TV and ExtremeMotorsports99.com, we wish you a good night, and we will see you, well, see you next time at Sebring. Thanks very much.